So in previous videos, we've looked at how you can look at an equation or a graph or a table to determine the slope of a line, but there's actually a formula that you can also use. And normally we use the slope formula when we're trying to find the slope between 2 points. So it takes 2 points to make a line, and if you're trying to find the slope of that line, then you're going to use this formula in order to do that. So the slope m of a line that passes through the 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2, is the ratio, okay, the fraction, of the difference, meaning you're subtracting their y coordinates, to the corresponding difference in their x coordinates. All right, so basically it's the change in y over the change in x. It's still rise over run. Okay, this is the formula. It's going to look like yt minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And these y's are going to come from the points, okay, and these x's are going to come from the same points. Now, it does not matter which of the points you determine will be x1 and y1 and x2 and y2, but the coordinates of both points must be used in the same order. All right, so if you determine this point's going to be x1, then this has to be y1, okay? Or if this is going to be your x2, then this y has to be your y2, okay? So you have to keep those parts together. All right, so let's just practice how to use that. Oh, and this guy over here, call him Mr. Slope Guy, because after you find the slope of each pair of points, you have to use the slope to determine the direction of the line. So remember, the line or the slope tells us the direction or tells us something about the line. And so this guy over here helps us remember that. So when the slope is positive, okay, the line is going up. Okay, this means up to the right. Okay, when the slope is negative, the line goes down. This is down. Okay, when the slope is undefined, that's the little u here, okay, then that is a vertical line right here, vertical line. And then when the slope is 0, you get a horizontal line like this, like his mouth. Okay, so just kind of keep that handy. We'll refer to it in a minute. All right, so we have 2 points, -3, -2, and 5, 4, and we want to find the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. So we just have to figure out which one's going to be our x1, y1, and our x2, y2. And again, it really doesn't matter as long as you keep them in the same order. So I'm just going to let the first one be x1, y1, and the second one be x2, y2. Okay, and then the formula says I subtract the y's, y2 minus y1, and then that's going to be over the x's, x2 minus x1. Okay, so my y2 was 4, and my y1 was -2. So 4 minus -2. Now, watch your negatives on this. This is the only hard part. And then I have x2, which I said is 5, and x1, which I said is -3. So minus -3. All right, so before I subtract, I'm going to simplify this. This is just subtraction of integers. So remember, subtracting is just another way to add the opposite. It's keep, change, change. It's add a line, change the sign. However you remember how to do it, just go ahead and change this to addition first. So this becomes 4 plus, keep, change, change, +2. And then on bottom, 5, I'm keeping the 5, change to add, change to 3. All right, so now I can add these. 4 plus 2 is 6, 5 plus 3 is 8. And then, of course, you want to simplify fractions. So these are both divisible by 2. This becomes 3/4. So my slope is 3/4. And then based on that, 3/4, it's positive. So that tells me my line is doing what? If it's positive, it's going up. All right, so the direction of 3/4 would be up. So I'm going to include that as well. All right, like at the next one, I have 2 points, 1, 2, and -4, 3. And again, this time I'm just going to switch it up just to show you it doesn't really matter. So this time I'll let this one be x2, y2, and I'll let this one be x1, y1. Okay, and you can do it the opposite way and we should still get the same answer. Right, my slope formula tells me to subtract y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, the other things people sometimes mess up on is forgetting that the y always goes on top of x, so just keep that straight too. So I said y2 is going to be 2 and y1 is going to be 3. And then x2 is going to be 1 and x1 is going to be -4. Okay, I'm going to rewrite my subtraction. So keep the 2, change to add, change to the opposite. Keep the 1, change to add, change to the opposite. So here, 2 plus -3 is -1. 1 plus 4 is 5. So my slope is -1/5. because it's a negative slope. A negative slope tells me my line is going to go down. So this is a negative slope, and my line will go down. Okay? Look at 3. 3. If this is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2, then I'm going to do y2 minus y1. I'm just going to write this down every time for now until I get the hang of it, until you get the hang of it. So y2 is 9, y1 is 5. x2 is 8, x1 is 8. So when I subtract 9 minus 5, I'm going to get 4. When I subtract 8 minus 8, I get 0. All right, so this is one of those funky times, where I have 4 over 0, and that is 4 divided by 0, which is impossible. You can't do that, okay? So when it's when 0 is under the line, this is how you can remember this. When 0 is under the line, then it's undefined. Kind of rhyme. 0 is under the line, then the slope is undefined. This time the slope is undefined. I can't have a denominator of 0. And then what happens to my line when the slope is undefined? Okay, well that's the little U guy right here. That tells me this is what kind of line. It's going to be a vertical line. All right, number 4. Again, it really won't matter which one you use. Okay, so y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So y2 is negative 2, y1 is also negative 2. x2 is 5, x1 is 8. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite my subtraction. Keep the negative 2, change to add, change to the opposite on bottom. Keep the 5, change to add, change to the negative 8. So negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 5 plus negative 8 is negative 3. Okay, and so this, again, is one of those funny cases where I have a 0 in my, this time in my numerator. So when 0 is over the line, 0 is over the line, then it's just equal to 0. So I can divide 0 by negative 3. When 0 is over the line, then the slope is 0. All right, so m is equal to 0. The slope is equal to 0. And then what does that tell me about my line? When I have a 0 slope, my line is horizontal. Okay, so a 0 slope is horizontal. Okay, and then sometimes people ask about a way to remember that. So here's my, I don't know if this will help you or not, but this is how I taught myself to remember. So undefined is vertical, and that's because UV, right? U follow, or V follows U, UV, undefined, vertical. And then when you look at 0, 0 is kind of like the O in horizontal, right? So a 0 slope is horizontal. So over the line, 0 over the line, the slope is 0. The O in the over tells me it's 0, and the O in the horizontal tells me a slope of 0 is horizontal. Okay, over here, if the 0 is under the line, it's undefined. Okay, they both have like that un part. And then UV tells me that the undefined slope is vertical. Okay, or you can just keep looking at the slope guy over here too. Look at the next one. So if I have x1, y1, x2, y2, then my slope will be 5 minus negative 3 and 3 minus negative 6. Okay, I'm going to rewrite that. 5 plus positive 3 and 3 plus positive 6. So 5 plus 3 is 8, 3 plus 6 is 9, so my slope is a positive 8 over 9, which tells me if it's positive, my line will go up. And these are always like up to the right and down to the right. All right, last one. I'm just going to switch it up again. So this time I'll let this one be x2, y2, and this one be x1, y1. So if I do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, then that would give me 0 minus 9, and over here 0 minus negative 3. Okay, so this becomes 0 plus negative 9. This becomes 0 plus positive 3. So that would be negative 9 over 3, which simplifies to just negative 3 over 1, or just negative 3. So the slope is negative 3. And because my slope is negative, my line's going to go down. Okay, so the direction of my line is down and to the right. Okay, so that's slope. Slope formula, again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Just keep those points in the same order and keep looking at the slope guy. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.